Hello, Jacko! It's been a while, and based on my last upload, almost a month. What have I been up to? Well, I have been sick, and now I'm mostly good. So let's see what's been going on in the DaVinci Resolve space. As we can see, DaVinci Resolve 19.1 came out, so we can take a look at this. But actually before we do, let me just update. So let's take a look. Now I do only have Windows, so I have no idea how good this works on macOS or Linux. So let's see what catches my eye. We have the media page, nothing that I would use, but I do see some interesting stuff. The edit page, new Fusion titles, effects and generators in the effects panel. So we'll take a look at this. Nothing else catches my eye that I would use, but I do see some good options. Let's see the Fusion page. So a lot of additions to the USD workflow, but I do see support for freeze frame with the time speed node. So this is something that we can also test. Now in the color page, maybe this one is the best out of them all, but I don't use color page much. Neo grain controls in the FX sky replacements, so this is studio only. Now the Freelight page probably also got some good additions, but I also don't use it much, so I do not know. Now in the delivery page, I'm not familiar with all of the codecs, but I think this one is a good addition, the AV1 encode, and also this one for mobile uploads. But if I'm wrong, do let me know in the comments down below. Now when it comes to scripting, I would like to use it more, but the documentation is lacking. Just like this installation. So let me continue with the installation. The general improvements, the dual monitor layout, I think this one is a good addition. Look at that. The mouse indication got stuck. I think that's pretty much it. So it's complete. And let's open up DaVinci Resolve and take a look. And I said we had two things that I want to take a look at. So maybe first I'll go to the Fusion page for this time speed node with the freeze frame. So let's take a look at the freeze frame capabilities. Shift space, time speed. Connected, and previously we could basically just adjust the speed and delay, but now we also have the freeze frame option. So if I go to frame 20, say freeze frame, but this freezes everything. So I guess if you wanted to freeze frame a specific frame, maybe this one, you do click on freeze frame, but you need a, let's see, which node is it? I think it's the dissolve node. So you would have the dissolve node, you would have the media in, and this one. So the dissolve is displayed on the right side and the time speed node on the left side. So in the dissolve, you would basically change between the background and the foreground. So let's see, the time speed has, let's go to frame 50. In the dissolve, we would keyframe this value to go on frame 49 as 0 to 1 at frame 50. So we now have the video playing, and then the freeze frame hits. You could then pause for as long as you wanted. So let's go maybe to frame 200 that we do the switch. So 199 is 1 and frame 200 is 0. Now in this case, the media in continues to play because it is not paused like this section that we have selected freeze frame. So once we do the switch in the dissolve, the biker is gone and the clip also cuts. So in this case, either the freeze frame or the speed would need the keyframe, so you can specify when you want this to continue playing. Now if this is how this is supposed to work, it's a little bit cumbersome because in the edit page you can simply Ctrl R, click freeze frame, and you can specify the length and the video continues playing from that section on. Not in this case because I have disconnected. So if I just do it like so, the video is frozen and continues playing. So I have no idea if that is how the time speed node, the freeze frame option, is supposed to work. If it is, it's not really intuitive. But now let's take a look at the goodies that they have introduced. So they said they have added fusion titles, effects, and generators. So let's take a look at those. So we have effects. We don't have any specific sections, but let me try and find them. So this one's new, comic book. You can scale the image, change the angle, texture blending. Let me scale it down. Texture blending, in reframe graphic, image background blend, the frame width, wobble strength, the blur size, and the wobble speed. As for the colors, we can change, let's see, we can change the frame color. This one is the frame outside color or the outline, and we can change this section and this one. So that's all good. The only option that I don't see is to change the inner graphic, so the color of it, which is a shame, but I think we can do that if we go inside, open this up. So this is the whole composition, but we would have to find what controls that section. So we have this here, so we have this outline, so that's the outline, but it also affects this one. This also changes it, so let me go back here, change the color of the outline, and yeah, okay, it does changes it. I didn't see it previously, but the inside color is not changeable, so it has to be done in this background if you want to do that. So I like the comic book effect. We have the flying flag. Looks decent. So you could basically add an image of a flag and put this effect on top of it. Then we have some simple shapes. Graphic cross overlay. Okay, so you could make something cool from this. Maybe even a transition using an adjustment clip on top of two clips and use one of these two shapes. Let's just take a look at the options that this has. This one also looks okay. Let's see, highlight stretch. What does this one do? So I guess this one is a bit intensive on the PC. I think you can make some cool effects using this one, but you do have to customize the options and animate them. Noise distortion. Maybe this one's new. Maybe. And it might be. So this is basically a fast noise with a displacement node and a shading node. I'm not really fan of this one. Let's see, outer stroke, not really visible. I'll test that one out a bit later. Also, the paper edge does not seem to do anything. Repeat. This would probably be better done on a text. And I will add a normal one and this one. So let's say outer stroke. So this has to be applied to the Fusion text. So you can easily add an outline and also shadow. But with this text, you could simply go to the Shadings tab, enable option 2. This would give you the outline, as you can see, which you can also adjust the thickness of. As for the shadow, I think you also have that, you do, so you can also enable the shadow. Now this just depends on what you want to do. So that is that effect. Let's see paper edge. I think it should be animated, it is not. But you do have a paper effect. Let me just disable this option. And also let me put this back to full so we can actually see what this looks like. Now let's see the repeat option. It has a bunch of options, as you can see. And you can keyframe most of the values. All of the values actually. And just using this random size can give you nice results. And in combination with the random center Y position, maybe the X as well, you can make a nice looking motion graphics. We have the shape circle. I'm not really sure why this one exists. Let's see slice. What does slice do? So slice does this. So this could be used for transitions. Let's see, stretch region. This could be a good way to make a transition at the end and then transition into a new clip from this point on. That's it for the effects. Let's see the generators. They have added maybe a bunch of these, but they have added a bunch of these. I do like this one, also this one, and you can make changes to this, of course, all of the color, how the line stretches, the separation, also the texture, how much you want it, the speed, and also the angle. Then we have contours, cube ray, the squall, some gradient lines. This one's a little bit meh. We have hexagons and honeycombs, noise gradient. We have the paper, radial lines, squares. This one's a fun one. Stage curtains. Some star field. This one existed before, and also a vintage texture. And then we have a bunch of stinker transitions. So a custom logo. So simply put a logo in. That's right. So simply put an image. Probably also you can use a video. So you can put simply that in. If you have something sporty, you can simply use this replay effect as a transition, or maybe this one. Band wipe, bunch of blobs. If you have a news channel, you can now use this. Some more blobs. And another set of blobs. This one could be for the news channel, I guess, as could this one. Then we have this fold wipe, a generic transition, a label and a label wipe, a simple background, some shapes, and more shapes. I do like a couple of these, and I could see myself using them. So most of the generators are actually useful. Now let's take a look at the titles. So we should have a bunch of Fusion titles that are new. I'll just try to find them. So this one's new. The circus. What can we adjust? Basically everything. I think it's just like the text plus. This one just has some extrusion going on. We have the border width, shadow. So this one is a 3D kind of text. Let's go to the shadings tab. So it has a bunch of options enabled. As you can see, we have the outline. This one is another shape that acts like a shadow. This one is the actual shadow. This one is red outline. And then we lastly have the white outline. So with a bunch of fakery, with these elements, you can get a text like this. And we have here a circle, which basically adjusts how this is shaped. So that is the circus one. Then let's see which one we have. We have the comic title. So I would say this one is done in the same fashion as the previous one. This one is new, elegant shadow. Let's see what we can change. The color of the text. As for the sphere, nothing much. So basically it is whatever color you want onto this whitish. We have the glass effect, the glassy blue, the gradient background and the outline, a headline, a long shadow, metallic steel, neon flicker, and DaVinci Resolve just crashed. So that is still something that works as before, crashing for no reason, just looking at the templates. So we have this neon flicker sign. I think this is a nice looking effect. So you don't have to make your own. We have this outline repeat, which is probably similar to the repeat effect that they have added, except this one is animated and made for the text. You then also have this one, POW sample. If you have anything that has to do with comics, the rainbow one, I don't really like this one. They have added this retro chrome. I do like this one. The sign off. Sadly, this is not animated. At least the outline could be animated. Then you have the slime. I actually have no idea why they named it slime. Maybe if you use the appropriate fonts, this could be a slime. So something like this font. And now the template makes sense that this is a slime. Still, what have they done? They used a path. You can make adjustments to this path. You have to go to Fusion Overlay. As you can see, you can't choose anything, so you have to right click, template path, and this is set to done. You have to do like modify only, draw append. In this case, I'll do modify only. Now you can make selections and make changes to the path. And you can then also position it if you want. But what you can do is position this on a path, as you can see, and make the animation go along the path. So in this case, the slime template is actually useful. Speed, let's see what about the speed. Now what I'm missing from most of these templates is that they're just static, they didn't add any animations to them. At least you do have this text fly through animation, which is a 3D effect. So let me put this on. See how it looks like over the clip. It looks okay, but it does fade a little bit too quick in my opinion. And that's all of the titles, generators and effects. I do like most of the generators, some of the effects. The titles, while I do like most of them, it's a shame that they didn't add any animations to a lot of them. So Blackmagic design, while the titles look awesome, it would be a lot better if you added some motion to them, because motion graphics is a thing. Now, if you watched all the way to the end, and if you found this video helpful, do let me know in the comments down below. Also let me know if you use DaVinci Resolve 19.1 and what is actually good about it in your case. Also don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more DaVinci Resolve and in future videos also Blender and probably Unity content. And until next time, Jackal, keep it digital!